She heard the laugh she had memorized for 10 years. It told her to send money. It wasn't him. It was a machine that sounded exactly like him. And by midnight, her life savings were gone. In the United States, voices can be cloned, grief can be weaponized, and convenience banks move money faster than people think. Today, how a voice from the past emptied an account, why it worked, and the 3 blunt checks that would have stopped it. This is an AI crime investigation. Let's rip the lie apart.
All right, let's jump right into a story that honestly feels like it's pulled from a movie script, but it is terrifyingly real. We're going to break down how AI is being used to create what might just be the perfect weapon for scammers, the voice of someone you love.
So I want you to imagine this. You get a call from a number you don't recognize. You almost ignore it, but for some reason, you pick it up. Well, for one Arizona mother, that one simple choice instantly turned her entire world upside down.
That's Jennifer DeStefano, and she's describing the exact moment she heard what she was 100% sure was her 15-year-old daughter, Bree. She said there was absolutely no doubt in her mind. The voice, the way she was sobbing, it was perfect. It was her daughter.
The voice on the phone keeps going, "Mom, I messed up," and then just more frantic crying. Jennifer's mind is just racing. See, her daughter was away on a ski trip, so she immediately thinks, "Oh my God, there's been an accident." But before she could even process that, the call takes an even darker turn.
Suddenly, a man's voice cuts in. He orders the girl to lie down and put your head back. And in the background, Jennifer can still hear her daughter's voice, pleading, "Help me, Mom, please help me." The panic, it was immediate, it was overwhelming.
The supposed kidnapper just starts laying into her with these chilling threats, describing in horrible detail what he'd do to her daughter if she didn't pay up. The goal here is pretty clear, right? Create absolute maximum panic. Just short-circuit your ability to think rationally and force you to make a bad decision fast.
And this was his opening bid, $1 million. When Jennifer told him, "Look, that's just impossible," he actually negotiated, bringing it down to $50,000 in cash. He even described how he was going to pick her up in a van with a bag over her head to get the money.
And here is the absolutely insane twist in this story. While this whole nightmare is unfolding on the phone, thankfully, some other parents at her younger daughter's dance studio helped her call 911 and get in touch with her husband. And they very quickly confirmed Bree was perfectly safe. She was on her ski trip, having a great time. So that leads to the crucial question. If her daughter was safe, whose voice was on the phone? So yeah, how is this even possible? I mean, the voice on that call wasn't some talented impersonator. No, it was something way more sophisticated and frankly, frighteningly easy to get your hands on.
3 seconds, according to AI experts, that's it. That is all the audio a scammer needs to create a realistic, synthetic clone of someone's voice. We're talking 3 seconds from a TikTok video, an Instagram story, maybe even an old voicemail.
The tech is called AI voice cloning, and it's not just about copying words. This stuff analyzes speech to replicate everything. The inflection, the emotion, the unique rhythm of how a person talks. It makes the final product almost impossible to tell from the real thing. And what's really alarming is just how low the bar is for criminals to do this. You don't need to be some tech wizard. The process is dead simple. Find a tiny audio clip online, upload it to a super cheap service, we're talking a few bucks a month, type in whatever horrible thing you want the voice to say, and the AI just does the rest.
So, let me ask you, do you think you could tell the difference? Well, a McAfee survey found that a whopping 70% of people are not confident they could. And that uncertainty, that doubt, that is exactly what these scammers are banking on. Because the second you're in a panic, all your skepticism just goes right out the window.
Now, Jennifer DeStefano's story is horrifying, but it is not a one-off thing. It's actually part of a much bigger, very adaptable strategy that preys on our most basic human instinct, protecting our family.
Let's look at another case just to see the pattern. There's a 75-year-old woman in Canada who got a call. The voice on the other end, she was absolutely positive it was her grandson. He said he'd been in a car crash, he was in jail, and he needed bail money right away.
See the playbook here? The details change. A kidnapping, a car accident, but the core strategy is identical. It finds that deep family bond and exploits it. Parent, child, grandparent, grandchild. It doesn't matter.
And the demand is always for cash, always for an amount the scammer thinks they can actually get from you.
These three things work together to create, well, a perfect storm of manipulation. You've got the panic of your loved one being in danger, you've got the urgency of needing money right now, and then you have this secrecy, where they tell you not to talk to anyone, sometimes even claiming there's a gag order. It is a powerful, powerful psychological trap.
Okay, so this is all pretty unsettling, right? The good news is there are things you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones. And honestly, the defense is pretty straightforward, as long as you can keep a clear head. If you ever get a call like this, I want you to remember 3 steps. First, stall. Just tell them you need a minute, you'll call them back. This breaks their control and that fake urgency they've created. Second, question. Ask a question a stranger could never ever know. Something really personal, an inside joke, the name of your first pet, anything that's not on social media. And finally, the most important one, verify. Hang up and immediately call your loved one directly on the number you know is theirs.
And that's what to do in the moment. But you can also get ahead of this. The single most effective thing you can do is create a family safe word. It's so simple, right? A low-tech solution for a very high-tech problem. Oh, and also, just remember, law enforcement will never, ever, ever call you demanding cash for bail over the phone. That's just not how it works. You know, this technology really points to a much bigger conversation we need to be having about our future. Because this isn't just about people losing money anymore. It's about potentially losing something far more fundamental.
When Jennifer DiStefano testified before the U.S. Senate, she put it perfectly. She framed this not just as a crime, but as a direct threat to our shared sense of reality. I mean, think about it. When the voices of the people we trust most can be perfectly faked, what can we actually believe?
And that leaves us with this huge critical question as we move forward. In a world where our own senses can be so easily tricked, where seeing and now hearing isn't necessarily believing anymore, how do we even begin to reestablish trust? That's something I think we're all going to have to figure out together.
Machines can sound like people. That doesn't mean you owe them trust. If you want the next breakdown, where we map how scammers build fake proof and what banks actually do when you report fraud, subscribe. Watch the short clips from this episode for quick checks to share with anyone who might be vulnerable. Grief is human. Being careful is not.